is everybody doing? Guess what? I'm finally here to do WIP and Chat number 2, which is late, and I apologize for that. It has really been a thing. Let me just tell you that right up front. Oh, I just hate it when you have to do real life stuff. It's not good. I don't like it. But I had real life stuff. So, I'm going to get through as much as we can today. I am going to do some housekeeping with you just so everybody's on the right page. And then we're going to get into this WIP and Chat. I'll be working right here in this little space right here. And we'll talk about some gods and goddesses. Now, I was going to separate them by gender, but you know what? I'm not doing it after all, because there are major gods and goddesses and then kind of, you know, not as major gods and goddesses. We're just gonna do them all, so we'll just do as many as we can today. And then WIP and Chat for 3 for the 3rd week, which I will try to get done on Friday. So you're going to see me twice this week. I know. Be still your heart. I know. We will do some more. So that's how we're going to make it as easy as possible. I'm just saying. Okay. Have some major announcements too for everyone. So let's talk about some of those announcements. So first and foremost, I need your progress pick by Thursday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, which gives you East Coasters till 11 o'clock if you really want to go for broke. Please have your progress pick either posted to Dragonites Lair or my email so that I can see what's going on with you. Your progress pick is what makes you eligible now for prizes, which we will do on Friday for the first go round. Today, oh, I can't wait to show you. I got the box from Min's over at True Vampire Art on Etsy. Oh, I'm so excited. We're going to look at all this cool stuff. And we're going to see all the neat stuff that's going to be available for you guys to win. Okay. Second major announcement. Dun, 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 dun. So you guys already know that we're doing Walk Like an Egyptian right now. And then in June, we're going to do Purple Haze. And then in August, I believe it is, we're going to do Zodiac. And then in November, we're going to do Fairies, Pixies, and Gnomes. Oh my. So those are the events. However, several of you have said, and really you're absolutely right, we need to do a dragon canvas every year, okay? And I think what I'm going to do after this year, so starting with 2027, is I'm just going to make it January. So after we get through the holidays and we all have post-party depression, we're going to start the new year with our annual Dragonites Dragon event. And that's what we're just going to call it, our annual Dragonites Dragon event. So, but for this year, we're going to sneak it in. I know, it's exciting. Don't ask me how I'm going to keep it straight, but we're going to do Dragonites, the annual Dragonites Dragon event in July. So I'm going to fit that in between Purple Haze in June and Zodiac in August. For July, we're going to do the annual Dragonites Dragon event. Woo! Okay, so get your dragon canvases ready. We are going to do them in July. So everybody who's been waiting to do one or to finish one or whatever from Year of the Dragon last year, now's the time. Pull that puppy on out. Let's get that going. And as usual, you just have to have a 30 by 30 or larger to participate. And there has to be a dragon somewhere on the canvas. Doesn't have to be the main focal point. Could be any place on it. But it has to be a dragon and it has to be on the canvas. That's it. That's the only requirement. And that it has to be 30 by 30 or larger. And you know, I say that, you guys, because I know that there are people that really struggle to get, you know, 30 by 30s and 30 by 40s completed. However, if you're one of these people that can do a 30 by 30 in 3 days, maybe consider a little larger so that you can continue to participate, you know, fully in the event rather than finish it and go, okay, I'm done. Because, I mean, really, what fun is that? And I know some of you have multiple events that you're in, and I get that. But I'm just saying, you know, maybe you'll like it. I'm not going to change that requirement because, again, I know that some of us don't have a lot of time and don't have a lot of abilities to get, you know, multiple things done. And, you know, we diamond paint last, and some nights we're just too exhausted to do it. And I get all of that. I really do. So please, though, think about maybe stretching your diamond painting wings just a little bit further. Go a little larger if you know in that first week you're going to be finished with the canvas. Okay, that's all I'm saying. All right, so that's happening July. Now, another thing that I just want to put out there, you guys, and I really hate this more than you know, because I love giving you guys gifts to win. You know, I've made it an intricate part of my events because I like to do that. I like to see you rewarded for your hard work. And you know, I love to be able to do that, because who doesn't love free stuff? Come on, you know, really. However, thanks to powers beyond my control, postage is going up again in July, I think it is, to 82 cents a stamp. 82 cents a stamp. Do you realize you have to spend 82 cents to get a stamp to send a bill to somebody with, you know, that you're trying to pay? Like, really? So that's ridiculous and absurd and infuriating, and officially out of my price range. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of options. You tell me which you want to do. Number one, I can give everybody my PayPal information and you can contribute to postage. And then, you know, so if you want to do that, you just put a couple bucks in there or whatever, and then whoever wins, hopefully there will be enough in there that, you know, it won't all be on me. Second thing we can do is we can go to gift cards, because gift cards are easy to send and I don't mind doing that. So we can do, you know, I don't know, Amazon, yeah, Walmart, grocery store, whatever, Hobby Lobby, whatever you guys think would be fun. I can do that, and that I can mail you in a card, which is a stamp. I can afford the 82 cents for a card. It's when the flat rate boxes get to $35, $40 a piece that becomes a bit much. Okay, so that's the option also. Third option would be, we're just not going to worry about any of that. We're just going to paint just because we're painting and having fun and learning some cool stuff. And that's okay too. If you guys don't want to win any prizes, I get it. But you know, you guys are what makes this channel what it is. So you need to decide. First one is contributing to postage. Second one is gift cards only. Third thing is we're not going to bother with prizes. We're just going to paint and wave at each other across the cyberspace. It's up to you guys. But please put in the comments which you would prefer, because I would like to get that right. That would make me happy to get that right. So next thing is, I hope everybody who requested a cover minder has received their cover minder. First group, you definitely should have received it already. Second group, if you haven't, it should be any time. If you don't see it by this Friday, please let me know so I can figure out what's going on, because you absolutely should have it. Those of you who remembered to let me know that you received it, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I can throw the receipt away once I know everybody has it. So there's that. And I'm telling you, you guys, I love these. These are so beautiful. I have to say again, thank you, Ray, Sugar Ray Crafts. You do such beautiful work. I just absolutely love it. So gorgeous. Okay. Let's see. Is that all the housekeeping I have for you guys? Let me think. I think so. I'm going to apologize now for any loud, horrible sounds that you guys hear. Our roof failed the inspection, so the roofers are now redoing the roof, and today they damaged my ceiling. So, oh, you have no idea the fun it's been. So, if I had Chef Screaming Goat, I'd be pushing the Screaming Goat right now. Now, finally, so exciting. Look. This is for men's, this parcel. So I undid the tape, but I haven't checked it out yet. So, here is, contained in here are the pen and tray set. That's going to be for you to win. How exciting is this? I know, right? Oh my God. Okay. So, oh, what the heck? Let's just get into this now, because I don't know about you, but I'm dying to see it. I really, really am. Oh, here we go. So let us just take a gander. Let's see. That's my receipt. Thank you, Mins. Now, I know she does amazing work, so I'm not worried. Just saying. Oh, look, freebies. Gotta love me a freebie. I love these sparkly bags. And this little pocket hug. Look, it's a cover minder. Look. It says, here's a little pocket hug. Please keep it safe and close. Then it will be there beside you when you need it most. How cute is that? Look at those sparkles. I hope you guys can see those sparkles. They're really pretty. Yes, beautiful. Thank you, Mins. And there's all kinds of pieces. These are to go in some pens. Look, 3 of them. Whee! Oh, nice. Okay. So we're going to hang on to that. And I have, ooh, got some candy. Got some little Twizzlers. Yummy. And I got a roll of Smarties. What's not to love, right? I know. Ooh, and I got a couple of really pretty stickers. That's pretty. This is called a lenticular sticker, meaning it's got that laser cut over it, which is so pretty. This one is plain, but ooh, look. Ooh, it's an hourglass with blood. Yee. Okay, very cool, Mins. Thank you so much. And of course, her card. Now, cards. I got more than one. Okay. You know what you ought to do with these, Mins? You ought to put numbers across the top and then, have like a punch system so that every time we order something, we can get a punch and then, get something cool at the end. Anyway, I want you guys to look at this though, because here's the card. So you can see YouTube, it's True Vampire Crafts. Facebook, True Vampire Crafts. TikTok and Instagram, True Vampire. And truevampire@myyahoo.com is her email, but it's True Vampire Art on Etsy. I don't want you to not be able to find the store. So that's the difference, okay? So, thank you, Mins, for all those cool little freebies. Ooh, gotta love it. And don't worry, I'm gonna eat this candy. I am. Yeah, diabetics, be damned. We're just gonna do it. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay. That's very cool. I love this cute little bag. All right. And I love this little vampire bat paper. I just think it's so cute. Woo! Extra pens. Look, you guys. Oh, here's a mini pen. Ooh, that's pretty. That's an aqua color, sparkly aqua colored pen. Ooh, and a gold twisty pen. Do you just love it? Oh, I love it. Thank you, Mins. Cover minders. You guys, we got 3 cover minders. There's 2 different shades of gold in here, so that's, if they look a little different, that's why. There's a metallic gold, there's a liquid gold. Don't remember if there was a 3rd color, but there's at least 2. So that is the situation. Oh my gosh, you guys. Look, cat people. Look how cute this is. I'm going to say that this is, look, she got a tail. This would be Bastet. She's got a little onk on her. This is the cat-headed goddess, Bastet. Isn't it pretty? So cute. Oh my gosh. Do you love this? I love this. Nice. So, wow. It looks like we might have 3 sets in here, which is sort of cool. That means I could keep my set and there could still be 2 winners, which would be awesome. Yep, there's 2 more cover minders. That's cool. Oh, you guys, look. Wow. Okay. All right. First thing is the Eye of Horus is actually upside down. Oh, we probably should have talked about that a little more. Anyway, this should be exactly opposite. This is on its head. It should be, you know, up here. But look, it says walk like an Egyptian, so that's cool. And you don't really have to worry about the lid that much, right? As long as the tray works, let's hope. So yeah, let's check it out. So, oh, you guys, look how beautiful this pen is. Look at the hieroglyphics. Oh my God, that is so cool. Oh my God, I love how that came out. Wow, lots of gods and goddesses on there too. Yeah, very comfortable. Love that. Okay, let's look over here at this cool tray. It says walk like an Egyptian. Nice. Ooh, nice, well-defined grooves in here. It's very cool. And there's a stopper, so you can pull it out and pour out your drills. Wow, men's very cool. Oh, love that. Okay, you guys, check that out. I love how that locks together too. It's just beautiful. This gold is pretty, men's. I don't know what color this one is specifically, but I like it. So yay. So that's one. Wow, you guys, look at this one. This has Anubis on the tray. Oh, that's really cool. You guys, ooh, look how beautiful. This gold is so pretty. Gosh, I don't know if the camera does it justice, but when you guys see this, oh my goodness. Hi, Anubis. Yep, beautiful tray. Love that. Nice. Yep, got a little stopper. Beautiful. Oh, wow, men's home run on the Anubis tray. And yet another cool pen. Look at that. So these are kind of awesome. Oh, really like those, men's. I really do. Very, very pretty. And then last but not least, it's another walk like an Egyptian in the other gold. And still with an upside down Eye of Horus, but that's okay. It's still gonna work fine. So this is the other shade of gold. That's pretty. Yeah, it's really pretty. I like it. When I think of gold, this is the shade I think of. So, yep, very cool. Let's see, can we get this out? Yes, we can. There you go. Also, if you have tight places that stick, you can just run some chapstick or some, you know, any kind of lip balm will work, you know, just to make it a little more slippery. Or it'll wear in on its own and it'll work. Very cool. Nice. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, men's. So these will be free gifts. I'm not sure which one I'm going to keep, but I will decide by the time we do the next WIP and chat, so that, you know, we can talk about these going to people. But yes, absolutely beautiful. Thank you, men's, so much. So yep, 2 of these are going to be prizes, including 2 of those cute little cat cover minders. And yes, so that is incredibly cool. Now, are there any of you guys that like these shorter pens, the mini pens? Let me know, because that one has a cute little design on it. It's got diamonds on it, which is very cute. I kind of love that. Mims does amazing work. Now, the prices are the same, she told me, as last year. So the trays are $13.50. If you want to buy them, they're in her store. Trays are $13.50. Pens are $5. Cover minders $5.50. Or the whole set's $20. So you can decide, you know, how you want to go about it. But look how cute this is with all these little diamonds, and it's in silver. That's really pretty. I like it. Anybody else like the mini pens? And this one, ooh, this one's very smooth. I like it. Like the aqua color. And this is just cool. And all of these, you know, you can put the multiplacers in. Now you might recall in our Luna and Lichen pens, there was a design on top of the pen, so you could only single place with it. These you can put in your multiplacers. So, yes, that's all happening. So, thank you again, Mims. Beautiful. I can't wait for the winners to get to see those. But if you can't wait, or you don't want to have to worry about winning it, you know, at least the pen and the cover minder, if you don't want the tray, I mean, that's only $10. Well, $10.50, I guess, but, you know, well worth it. So, yep, I will leave that for you to consider. Alrighty then. Okay. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you guys can see okay. I'm going to move you just slightly. See, that's what, okay, here's the Eye of Horus. Right here. This is what it should look. That's right side up. Doesn't matter. You're not going to use the lid except to just cover the tray, so it's okay. I always have my handy dandy yellow dog designs, and I hear they went out of business, so I'm very upset about that. Anyway. All right, should we talk about some gods and goddesses? I think so. So let's do that. Okay, so first, we're going to talk about Bastet, the cat-headed goddess. Now, Bastet and Sekhmet kind of go hand in hand. They're kind of two sides of the same type of coin, and you'll see when we get to Sekhmet what I'm talking about. But Sekhmet has a lion's head. Bastet has a domestic cat's head. So that's how you can tell them apart. Take it for what you will. Maybe there's some other sneaky reason that I don't know about why it's the way it is. Could be, right? So anyway, that's the situation. All right. I'll put a couple drills down here, and then we are off to the races. Okay. Bastet, or Bast, is the ancient Egyptian goddess of home, domesticity, women's secrets, fertility, and cats. Originally a fierce lioness warrior protecting Lower Egypt and the sun god Ra, she evolved by the third intermediate period into a protective cat-headed goddess representing nurturing, joy, and guardianship. So, cat people, that should make you very happy to know that this deity is the person who keeps all of that going and together, which is kind of nice, right? I mean, really, it is kind of nice. Okay. Key aspects of Bastet. She began as a lioness-headed deity like Sekhmet, but became a domesticated cat or cat-headed woman, reflecting a shift from a violent protector to a guardian of the home. Known as a protector of children, families, and pregnant women, she was highly popular in households, often depicted with kittens. The Eye of Ra. As a daughter of Ra, she defended the sun god against the serpent Apep, and was associated with the destructive power of the sun and moon. Her primary cult center was the city of Bubastis in the Nile Delta. She is often portrayed holding a sistrum, which is a musical instrument, and an aegis, a protective shield. Cats were sacred to her. They were often mummified and buried at her temples, and harming a cat was considered a grave offense. As we found out in the facts about Egypt, you were put to death if it was proven that you killed a cat, right? So, Yeah, they kind of had free run, which can you imagine what that must have looked like in some of the areas? Because, yeah, they're pretty prolific anyway, and there was no stopping them, right? You couldn't do anything, you know, disdainful. So, cats, okay, circa 2890 BCE, she was depicted as a fierce lioness, sometimes called the Lady of Dread or Lady of Slaughter, but shifted to a domestic cat later in later period, often associated with or considered a softer aspect of the fierce lioness goddess Sekhmet. The name Bastet is often connected to the oil jar, suggesting she was also a goddess of perfumes, ointments, and healing. Okay, so that's kind of nice, right? So that's Bastet for you. So, and that's, you know, if you win that cover minder, or if you want to purchase that cover minder from Minza's store, you'll have all that good stuff in your home, which I think is important. Okay, sorry again about my voice, you guys. I was hoping by now I would be over it. Well, guess what? Okay, so now let's do X and P here. Get some drills out. Now we're going to talk about Sekhmet. Now she's the one we talked about that has the lioness head, right? The wild cat versus the domestic cat. Okay. Sekhmet means she who is powerful, and is the ancient Egyptian lion-headed goddess of war, destruction, plagues, and healing. Often seen as the fiercest protector of the pharaohs and the sun god Ra, also as the Eye of Ra, she was sent to destroy humanity for disobedience, but was tricked into stopping her rampage. How about that, you guys? Known as the Lady of Terror, she embodied the sun's destructive heat, disease, and chaos. Conversely, she was a patron of healers and physicians, possessing the power to cure the same illnesses she brought. She was depicted as a woman with a lioness head wearing a sun disk. A sun disk with Uraeus, a serpent. She was closely associated with the color red for blood and power, and was often depicted in red linen. Well, how about that? I'm telling you. Although, I think in our picture over here, I don't know, is she wearing red? Well, she kind of is. Kind of a coppery red color. So, okay, here's Bastet. We've heard about her. Okay, she's the cat, right? Now we're talking about Sekhmet over here with the lion head, just to give you some perspective, okay? Alrighty then. She was created from the fire of Ra's eye. Her story often involves her insatiable bloodlust after punishing humanity, necessitating her transformation into the calmer goddess Hathor to prevent total destruction. So you guys remember Hathor? Did you see The Gods of Egypt? If you haven't seen the movie, you should see the movie because it's really good. Hathor, or Lady of the West, was portrayed in that movie. So now you know that's how they softened up Sekhmet, because she's a little out of control, okay? So they had to create a different persona for her, so they created Hathor so she could calm down a little bit, okay? She was considered the wife of the creator god Ptah, which is Ptah, and mother of Nefertum. Her priests were known for medical expertise, and she was heavily worshipped in Memphis and Karnak, where thousands of statues were commissioned by Amenhotep III to appease her. Okay, so that's part of it. Okay. Let's see. Her name means the powerful one, or she who is mighty. She embodies intense duality, acting as both a fierce destroyer and a protector of Ma'at for balance. Okay. Okay, so she was created by the sun god Ra to punish humanity for plotting against him. Her bloodlust became so uncontrollable after destroying humanity that she was stopped by a ruse where red-dyed beer, mistaken for blood, made her too drunk to continue. How many of us have relatives where that would work on Christmas? I used to have a couple. I bet there's some out there. Yeah. Just want them to calm down a little bit, fill them full of red beer, so they'll be fine. Okay. As the Lady of Life, she was the patron of physicians. Priests and healers often invoked her to destroy the plague-bearing spirits causing diseases, linking her destructive nature with curing illnesses. She is typically portrayed as a woman with the head of a lioness, often wearing a solar disk, and the uraeus, the sacred serpent, on her head. Her main cult center was at Memphis, where she was considered the consort of the creator god Ptah. She was also worshipped alongside Bastet, and later her attributes were absorbed into the goddess. The goddess Mut, M-U-T. She was highly regarded as a fierce guardian of Egypt and its rulers, often invoked to destroy enemies in war. Her priesthood was renowned for specialized medicine and magical healing. The immense number of statues created for her, most famously at the Temple of Mut at Karnak, suggests that she was actively worshipped to appease her volatile nature. So, let's see. This is another source about her, about Bastet. Just, we can go back a little bit. It was a little bit out of order. Or I'm sorry, not Bastet. We're going on to Isis. Do you guys remember a TV show on Saturday mornings when we were kids? Now I'm talking to you, my 80s ladies, okay, or gentlemen too. Do you guys remember Oh Mighty Isis? And she would go in a big circle and a big light would come out and she'd transform. Do you guys remember that show? I used to think that was the coolest show. Okay. All right. Isis is a major ancient Egyptian goddess of magic, motherhood, fertility, and healing, often revered as the ideal mother and wife. As the wife of Osiris and mother of Horus, she represented supreme devotion and protective power, often depicted wearing a throne-shaped headdress. Her cult spread from Egypt to the Greco-Roman world. She is the goddess of magic, healing, and fertility, acting as a protector of the dead and a protector of the pharaoh. She is the daughter of Geb, who represented earth, and Nut, who represented the sky, sister and wife to Osiris, and sister to Set and Nephthys. After her husband Osiris was murdered and dismembered by his brother Set, Isis used her powerful magic to find the pieces and resurrect him long enough to conceive their son, Horus. Renowned for exceptional magic, healing abilities, and cunning, she was considered the most powerful goddess, even tricking the sun god Ra to learn his secret name. Her hieroglyph was a throne, symbolizing her role as the mother of kings. She is also depicted with cow horns and a sun disk, or as a kite, which is a bird. Sounds like she had some power behind her, which is sort of cool. I mean, let's face it. If you're going to be in ancient Egypt, it behooves you to have some power, so I'm just saying. Okay, so her worship started around 2350 BCE, which is featured in the pyramid texts. Isis became the dominant female deity in Egyptian religion, with her cult on the island of Philae, Philae, remaining active for centuries. Okay, this is a different section. This is actually put out, this piece now I'm going to read to you is put out by the Rosicrucian Egyptian Museum. So you can look this up online if you're interested under egyptianmuseum.org. Okay. Isis, Great Mother Isis, the goddess of healing and magic, was crucial to ancient Egyptian religious beliefs. She is known today by her Greek name Isis. However, the ancient Egyptians called her Aset, A-S-E-T. Her name translates to Queen of the Throne. which is reflected in her headdress, which is typically a throne. Sometimes she's also depicted with the vulture headdress of the goddess Mut, M-U-T, and other times with a disc with horns on the sides, attributed to the goddess Hathor. She took on her headdresses as she assimilated their traits. Isis can also be seen as a winged goddess who brought fresh air to the underworld when she went to meet her husband. Now, see, do we have her? Okay, so this is our depiction of Isis. She does not have her wings out, but she has a beautiful headdress with the cow horns and the little cow face on there. So yeah, she's pretty cool. We'll take that. Okay. All right. Isis was the sister and wife of the god Osiris. Now remember, guys, there was a lot of incest in ancient Egyptian lore because that's how they wanted to purify their line. So don't blame me that they're doing stuff. It's not up to me. Okay. Now, so she's the sister and the wife, okay, of Osiris, ruler of the underworld. It is said that she and Osiris were in love with each other even in the womb. Isis was also the mother of Horus, the protector of the pharaoh. The most famous story of Isis begins when Set, the jealous brother of Osiris, dismembered him and scattered the parts of his body throughout Egypt. The ancient sacred stories say that the other deities were so impressed with Isis's dedication to finding her beloved husband that they helped her revive him. Isis was very important to the ancient Egyptians because she had so many different powers. She was both the protector of women and the bringer of magic. Isis began as a secondary figure to her husband Osiris. However, after thousands of years of worship, she was transformed into the queen of the universe and the embodiment of cosmic order. By the Roman period, she was believed to control the power of fate itself. So she really came up in the world, right? Let's face it. That's saying something. And it was hard to, come out in the ancient world as, as a female deity and expect to be worshipped, right? But boy, they sure took her name and ran with it. So good for her. Yep. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Osiris. Let's see. I have about 20 more minutes. Okay. So we are going to discuss Osiris. And then we'll try to do some few life updates just because I don't want to leave you guys hanging. So we'll talk about it. Okay. So let's get through Osiris and we will go from there. Okay. Osiris, god of the deceased, was the son and oldest child of Geb, the earth deity, and Nut, the sky goddess. His wife and sister was Isis, goddess of motherhood, magic, fertility, death, healing, and rebirth. It was said that Osiris and Isis were deeply in love with each other even in the womb. In the New Kingdom, Osiris was considered the master of the underground world, the next world, the afterlife. So, in the mythology, before becoming master of the afterlife, Osiris ruled Egypt and taught agriculture and gave laws and civilization to humans. However, Osiris's brother Set was extremely jealous of him. So Set killed Osiris and cut his body into pieces, which he distributed around Egypt. With Osiris dead, Set became king of Egypt, with his sister Nephthys as his wife. Nephthys felt sorry for her sister Isis, who wept endlessly over her lost husband. Isis, who had great magical powers, decided to find her husband and bring him back to life long enough so they could have a child together. With Nephthys, Isis roamed the countryside. Let's see. Collecting the pieces of her husband's body, reassembling them, and holding them together with linen wrappings. Isis breathed the breath of life into his body and resurrected him. They were together again, and soon afterwards Isis magically conceived a child, Horus. Osiris then descended into the underworld, where he became the lord of that domain. So, that's what happened with there. So sometimes You know, you'll see that depicted in movies about Egypt, where you'll hear them say, you know, Osiris, you know, we seek your book of the dead, or, you know, however they want to say it, you know, and that's who they're talking to. They're talking to Osiris. Ginger. Sorry, guys. The roofers are back from lunch, setting everybody on the deep end. So you're going to hear stuff in the background. I apologize. Can't help it, but it's going to be noisy. So anyway, that's what they mean when they're talking to Osiris. Anubis, we haven't talked about yet, but we will in the next WIP and Chat. He has a lot to do with walking the souls through the underworld to the judgment of souls. Some of you are working on a canvas depicting that. Mare's Creations, looking at you. You are working on that one. Somebody else is too. And it, you know, where it shows him and it shows the scale, and it has a feather, and it has a heart he's holding in one hand and a feather in the other. And that's to, you know, if you, the object was if you weighed your heart and it was equal or lighter than the feather, because you know, you were a good person, you weren't racked with grief and, you know, all that horribleness, then you got to go on to the afterlife. And so to the Elysian fields or wherever you wanted to go. And if it didn't, if it was heavy with sadness and grief and guilt and all of that, yeah, sorry, you got sent to the underworld. Bye. So, yeah, and it was pretty swift justice, I'll tell you, for those days. So that's the story. Now, when we talk about when we talk about Anubis at the next WIP and Chat, I will also have a short little video. There was a 10-minute video that I found that I really thought was a good one that explained a lot about him. So I will link it in the description box of the next video when we have our next WIP and Chat number 3, so that you can watch it if you'd like to and get a little bit more, you know, emphasis on Anubis and what he did, since he's depicted in so many artifacts having to do with Egypt, so many hieroglyphs that have to do with Egypt. You see a lot of the jackal-headed god, which is Anubis. And so, you know, it's good to have a little bit more understanding of him. So when you see him, you will sound like a scholar when you can explain all that to whoever you're with. Oh, yes, that's Anubis, this, that, and the next thing. So, yep, I will link a short little video. It's easy to watch, too. Good graphics and everything. So, there you are. He's also in the Gods of Egypt. If you haven't seen that movie, you know, there's a pretty good Anubis in there, too. Which, you know, you'll see him walking, you know, people. Because it's like a 9-day journey to get to the scales. Which everybody who dies has to go through that whole procedure. So, you know, there's a lot going on and you had a long way to walk. And so, you know, but Anubis is in charge of making sure everybody goes the way they're supposed to and doesn't try anything fast and furious. And, you know, so that's the situation. He played a big role in mummification also, which was important to the ancient Egyptians because they really believed that, you know, if you went into the afterlife, you were going to need your body. So that was the purpose. Shh, Ginger. It's okay. That was the purpose of mummification, was to keep your body fresh and ready for you to just jump on in it when you needed it in the afterlife. So that's the situation. And again, I apologize for the roofers in the background, you guys. I have been for 2 weeks of this. You have no idea. So, starting to hear hammers in my sleep. Anyway, so, that's the situation. So, Anubis is interesting, and we'll talk about him, and I will link the video when we do the next WIP and Chat, because, you know, kind of cool. So, just a couple life updates. So, I did go to court. They gave me a little bit of grief about getting conservatorship over Neil. So I spoke with the judge directly, and I was able to get the conservatorship that I needed with all of the powers that should be in it. So thank God that's over. He's still not happy about it. We're not talking about it, which is fine. I just have to do what I have to do behind the scenes, you know, not where he's not a part of it because he gets so angry. But, you know, there's not a lot I can do about the anger except tell him that I'm really sorry it's so hard for him, which I've already done. So, you know, I'm hoping that he will come around and realize why it was necessary, but he may never. And I just have to cope with that. But it's done. And what needed to happen, happened. So, whew, on that one, I've already emailed the person in charge at the office where the roofers do their, you know, come from. So I've let them know, I took pictures and let them know in no uncertain terms, Ginger, shush, that they're going to need to make repairs to every place that they have ruined my ceiling. And they've already returned the email saying, oh, don't worry, we're absolutely going to fix anything that's had to happen. And they've been told, the framer's been told to be more gentle because of what's going on. I thought, What they don't know yet is that the panels that are on my ceiling are 40 years old and you can't get them anymore. So there's a fairly good chance they may have to replace my entire ceiling in my kitchen and dining room. And if they're not careful, the frame, which is now cracking and crumbling for the skylight, is going to fall, and they're going to have to replace that too. So yeah, we may never get rid of these people, I swear to God. No end to the fun, you guys. Yeah, so that's happening. We've had pretty decent weather here. We had one evening, I think, that had just a, you know, light smattering of rain. But other than that, we've been sunny and pretty good. Somewhere between, you know, 65 and 72 for weather. So that's been a delight. And yeah, we haven't had any horrible rain. It's a good thing because now my ceiling's destroyed and who knows what would happen. But anyway, it's going to be cool this week though. So we're going to have temperatures 65 to 68. You know, I think one day is like 72 and everything else is under 70, which is great for me. I happen to like it that way, especially when the sun's out and the weather is crisp. Oh, love that. It's one of my favorite times of year, which is why I like fall, because that's usually when that starts after a ridiculously hot summer. So it's nice because, you know, when that happens, I know for sure it's pumpkin spice season, and I know winter's on the way, and winter's my favorite season. Not just because Christmas is in it, not just because my birthday, but that's part of it, but because I don't like to be too hot. It annoys me. Ooh, no thank you. So I'm always happy to see winter get here because I can finally thaw for a minute and go, oh, thank God. Get away from all that terrible heat and sweating and bleh. So yeah, I like it crispy. So been nice around here so far. So yeah, what are you guys up to? Don't forget to let me know in the comment section your thoughts on, you know, what you want to do about this whole postage thing for prizes. I feel really bad, but I'm also furious that they're doing that because, number one, it wasn't that long ago that we had an increase in postage. I feel like this is our third one since Louis DeJoy, who has been in charge of it. Don't even ask me how I feel about him because I'll tell you, it won't be pleasant. So yeah, I just, parcels are going to have to be few and far between. I just can't continue to do that because it's ridiculous. So that's happening. So you can let me know what you guys think. I mean, I'm really fine with gift cards, or if you don't want it to do that anymore, it's, you know, you guys tell me, because I think that you guys need to be involved. This is your channel, so I want to know your thoughts. So we'll see what you guys have to say, and then we'll go from there. But for this event, no worries. We 100% are going to be having prizes, and I think that those trays and pens are really pretty. So yeah, so I wish I just could have one for all of you. But let me know if you've decided you're going to just go ahead and scooch over there and buy one. Let me know what you think to celebrate the event. What else is going on? Finian's not doing fantastic, so that's stressing me out. And because his veterinarian has disappeared, I don't know what happened. The whole clinic is just shut. So I've had to, you know, limp along the best I can with my vet who sees my dogs. And fortunately, he's a really good guy. And so he's been willing to refill his medicine and call out an antibiotic. But I really miss having a herpetological vet who can see exotics and can really tell me, hey, this is what's going on. Because really all I can do right now is palliative care and antibiotic. And I don't know if that's going to be enough. I hope so, because it's destroying me to think about the possibility even that he may not be here much longer. So that's frustrating. Although he's just going right along. I mean, he's such a good boy, and he's, you know, does everything I ask him to do. He fights me a little bit with his medication, which is okay. The ones that his normal medications, which are oral medications, I'm like, you know what? It's okay. If he fights me, then I know he's got enough energy to fight me. So I'm okay with that. And then the antibiotic is an injectable, which breaks my heart to have to stab him in his little arms. But I know it's what he needs, but I also don't like to have to do it. It makes me feel very bad to have to stab the little man. So that's what's happening around here, which isn't much. Ruby decided to heck with this, and she went back into brumation. Pfft, don't ask me. I don't know. Have not seen her do that or have seen any of them do that before. Merlin is, I don't know. He's not doing awesome either. I feel like he got up too early. I think he should still be in brumation because he's just kind of blah, you know, like he doesn't really want to eat. He doesn't really want to do anything. He doesn't really want to sleep, but he doesn't want to do anything else. I mean, he's just, he's so frustrating. I'm like, okay, Merlin, if you're going to be awake, buddy, you got to eat. If not, then you need to go back to sleep because what are you doing? So that's going on. Claire, on the other hand, oh, she's fine. Eating everything and everything, eating me out of house and home. Like you cannot keep that girl in feeders. She's crazy. And she's a big girl, but she's beautiful too. And I appreciate that she's spunky because, you know, her tenacity keeps her going. And I'm really thankful for that because, you know, I've worried about her so much, you know, getting her to this point and making sure that, you know, we've figured out, you know, how to arrest the seizures and, you know, all of that has been really important. And I'm really thankful that I've been able to do that. And she's a beautiful she-dragon, but, you know, her egg laying season is coming up, and I'm worried about that because that's hard on any reptile, female reptile. In fact, reproductive issues is the biggest cause of female reptilian death. So that stresses me out. The thought of her laying eggs absolutely stresses me out. I wish that she didn't have to, and the fact that it's going to be coming around and she has no doctor is just so frustrating to me. Not that I'm not looking. I mean, I'm looking to try to find, you know, a vet that will see exotics, but when I tell you this county is absolutely devoid of them, I mean, it's completely. There's nobody. There's one other vet in a city close by that quote unquote will see a reptile, but she's a terrible vet and a terrible person, and I would rather not go to her. And she's not an exotics vet. She will just see reptiles. I don't know, she had a turtle she loved or something, I don't know, but anyway, she sees them, but I wouldn't trust her to know something important, like what was going on if, you know, somebody was on the verge, okay? And I had a run-in with her one time. I lost a reptile because she wouldn't give me a different antibiotic when the first one wouldn't work. And that dragon died in my arms, and I'm furious to this day about it. And I told her how I felt about it, and she said that it was my fault because I should have allowed her to do a $300 necropsy on his body when he died, so she could find out exactly what the problem was, and then she would know exactly what antibiotic. I thought, oh my God, she's out of her mind. She's a screw loose. I just can't with her. And I think she's detrimental. And I've told people with reptiles that live around here, you know, you need to not take them to her. So, because they're going to die. I mean, it's just that simple. She's terrible. And I feel like she tries to hide stuff. And then one time I tried to get my carnivore care from her, which is the food supplement when I have to syringe feed the dragons. Because for a while you could only get it from veterinarians. I'm so glad that Amazon's back to having it, but God. So I went to her to get a bag. I get it home, and it expired like 6 months ago. And I'm just like, are you kidding? So yeah, she's horrible. Taking them to her is like not taking them at all. So that's a problem. So we're limping along, but I'm concerned about Finian. I'm concerned about Merlin. Ruby's asleep, not concerned about Ruby. Claire eating everything in sight. Concerned about her laying eggs, but other than that, I'm not concerned about her health-wise because she's doing really well. But yeah, I miss having a vet that, you know, knows a few things about reptiles and what they need and what she can do to help them, what I can do to help them, because right now I absolutely do not have that, and it's very concerning. So I'm going along, trying to do the best I can, working with my vet, but yeah, I'm worried. He's not a spring chicken, you know. And he's such a sweet boy. He's worth doing everything and anything. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. So there's that. Right now he's sitting in his window seat looking out the window, which he loves to do. And right now there's lots of activity because the roofers are, you know, up and down the ladder and on the roof and off the roof. So he's enjoying that. And yeah, it's just been a lot. So then I found out after going through all of that, there was a paper I was supposed to file by April 5th after the conservatorship. And I totally spaced it. I'm like, oh man, I know there's one I have to file in July. And there's one I have to file in late August, early September. So those two I knew about. I didn't realize that I had to file this other paper by April 5th. So that's now late. So I'm going to have to figure out that one and get it done and get it filed with the clerk and sent off to everybody under the sun who really doesn't need to know. Just really to his public defender and to his sister and daughter, who don't speak to him. I don't know why I need to keep telling them, but anyway. And his son, nobody has an address for, or nobody's willing to give the address if they do, so couldn't even serve him, but yep. I told them that if anybody had anything they needed to say, they should really do it because, you know, I told them what his diagnosis was. Didn't hear a peep out of any of them. And how gross is that? I mean, seriously. I don't care what happens to you or what goes on when you're young. When you find out the only parent you have left, because their mother died in 2012, interestingly enough, when my mother died. And, you know, he's the last parent and nobody even bothered to say, hey, Dad, you know, nothing. So, yeah, I'm disgusted. So we will just go along, do the best we can. But yeah, it's been a lot. I don't like these weeks where we have something every single day. So today I actually ended up rescheduling an eye appointment because right now I'm asymptomatic and I don't need an eye appointment. So I rescheduled for May, which is fine. And I'll go then when we have less happening, because I'm glad I was home when the ceiling caved in a couple of areas, because you know, I knew what was happening. I saw it happen. I know who was here and who did it. I think I would have had a hard time figuring that out if I had gotten home after the roofers were finished and everybody was gone and there were these big craters in my ceiling. Like, I'd have been going, who did this? But no, I mean, I literally, as soon as it happened, took the pictures, sent it over there. And they acknowledged, yes, they absolutely will take care of it. Well, you certainly will. Because really, the second dealing with the roof shouldn't have been a thing. They should have done it right the first time. So I'm already not pleased, and now I'm just plain angry. So, my life in a nutshell, you know. So yeah, other than that though, dogs are doing pretty well. Everybody's more or less okay, except that they're very unnerved by the roofers. The dragons are too. Everybody's got stress marks from the roofers being here, but there's no way to change that. I can't muffle the sound any more than it's muffled, especially since all of the insulation has been uprooted too, because, you know, dealing with the roof, which is also the reason why, you know, the ceiling went when they stepped on it, which somebody really should have explained to them that, listen, when you're doing a mobile home, okay, two halves of a house that come together in the middle, don't walk on the eaves because you're gonna ruin them. I mean, like, you shouldn't have to tell them, but clearly they needed to be told. So I'm really frustrated about that, but they're going to learn the hard way, apparently, while they're making massive repairs. So that's going on. What else is happening? Not a heck of a lot, at least not right at the moment, which is kind of nice because we've had too much going on, so it'll kind of be good to, when this is finished, to, you know, just take a breather. I really need a vacation and have no time or ability to take one, so there you go. I think, let's see, last time I took a vacation, Jared was 2, now he's 30, so now you know how long it's been. Usually if there's any time off, you know, it's a staycation where we stay at home and kick around here or go to movies or whatever, because we don't usually have time to do that either. So that's kind of what we do if there is any time off, which we don't have much of, to be honest with you. But that's what's going on. So, well guys, I've literally been talking your ear off for a whole hour. So, definitely let me know your thoughts on what to do about the prizes. And again, I need your progress pics by Thursday, 8 p.m. Pacific time. So Friday, when we do the next WIP and chat, it might be Saturday, but I'm shooting for Friday. Kind of depends on how things go, because I do have appointments the rest of the week. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. It'll either be Friday or Saturday. We will do the first of the giveaways and see how that goes. And then we'll talk about a few more gods and goddesses. So I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about some of our ancient Egyptian gods and goddesses. Let me know too in the comments which one was your favorite so far. Who's your favorite? Or do you have a favorite we haven't talked about yet? Because that's probably coming up if we haven't. So yes, let me know in the comments. Can't wait to see how all your canvases are coming along. I'm really excited. You guys picked out some great ones. Love, love, love it. Crafty Witch UK, I love your Bastet cat because that's such a cool one. I love all the Anubis people. Those are cool too. Yeah, and yeah, all the Egyptian queens. Crafty Chef, you're doing a really cool one too. And I'm waiting to see how Diamond Artjoy, how yours is coming out with all those all those heads of goddesses and gods and people. So yeah, I'm waiting to see how that actually comes out. So that's what's happening. I hope you're having a great week. If you're not having a great week, well, by golly, go get yourself something nice, because you know you deserve it. So, and I would like to tell you, I have been loving the iced lavender chai from Starbucks. Oh my God, I'm addicted. It's so good. I know it sounds weird, but it's so good. Try it. Try it before you say yuck, because, so good. And I don't like lavender, so that really tells you it's very good. Yeah, if I can just have a couple of those a day, that'd be awesome, but I cannot. So I have one a couple times a week. But anyway, yeah, if you haven't tried it, try that iced lavender chai. So good. So yeah. So keep me posted. Let me know what you guys are working on. Also, so far I haven't heard any any discussion on what kind of content you guys are interested in continuing to see. So I'm going to put that poll out. I had planned to put the poll out last week so you guys could, you know, see it and pick one, or, you know, pick two, whatever, so that we could see kind of what we're looking at on the channel, what kind of content you'd like to see more of, what you really don't care about seeing more of, you know, where you lie on that. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, is put that poll out there so you guys can kind of let me know. And you can use the comment section if you want to add or subtract, or, you know, suggest something else. Feel free. I'm willing to hear what you have to say. And, you know, we will go from there once we have an idea of what we're thinking of. Now, all of the choices are things that, you know, I'm already doing. There will always be some of that, but I want to know what is really on your mind. What is it you want to see more of? Why do you come to the channel? What is it that you find interesting about it? What is it that you kind of feel like is a drag? You know, I would be interested in knowing that as well. So that's what's just coming on, you guys. And so I plan to see you Friday, might be Saturday, but it'll be one of the two. And we will go on to WIP and Chat number 3, complete with prize drawing and more facts on gods and goddesses. So remember, always be a dragon. Spread your wings. Protect those you love. Have fiery passion. Stay strong, slay your fears, and always fly high, rise up, and soar. All right, Dragonites, have a wonderful rest of your week. Big hugs to all of you. Keep working on your beautiful canvases, and don't forget to get that pick in by Thursday at 8 p.m. Pacific time. And I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.